Hey everyone, this is Joe. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have something a little bit different. I am unboxing and showing you my setup for my 2019-2020 bullet journal. And as you can see, I am too impatient to wait until 2020 to set up these notebooks, so I am going to set these notebooks up now so I can start using them now. Basically, I have two notebooks, but I will only be setting up one because one is a blackout notebook, which means all the pages are black. And there's a funny story to why I have these notebooks. Basically, I was on Instagram one day and I came across the blackout notebook from Archer and Olive, and I reposted it on my Instagram stories. And then the owner of Archer and Olive, her name is Bonnie, messaged me and we DM'd back and forth, and she was so kind to send me these two notebooks. This video is not sponsored. This is a gift from Bonnie from the kindness of her own heart, which is amazing, and I am still fanboying and internally screaming as I open these notebooks because they're so beautiful. I believe this is a 100% vegan notebook, and all of the packaging for any of the Archer and Olive notebooks are sustainable. I don't know, this company, Archer and Olive, is just amazing. I'm not paid to say any of this, but I don't know, I just was reading up on their Q&A portion of their website, and there's just, yeah, I feel like my values align with them a lot. There's a lot of mental health focused practices at Archer and Olive, and yeah, like the wellness aspect and the community aspect is amazing, and yeah, they just support local artists and small businesses too. It's just I'm just fanboying. But as you can see, the notebook is pretty standard. If you compare it to the Scribbles That Matter notebook, it's pretty much very similar. They're both filled with very thick pages, which is great because you can use markers. I think it's about 160 GSM. I'm just pulling that number from experience, but I don't know if that's the exact number. But it is very thick paper. The gray dots are faint enough that they kind of disappear, but you can still see them, which is nice. Unlike the unlike the Scribbles That Matter notebook, this doesn't have like a preset index or any other pages that are, geared towards bullet journaling. So if you don't want to use this as a bullet journal and want to use this just as a plain dot grid notebook, this might be a better fit for you because there are no extra pages that are wasted. They are all just plain dot grid. So if you just need a notebook, or you need something for your notes, or you're a student and you want a chic notebook to bring to class, I would highly recommend this. And yeah, they're about the same size as my Scribbles That Matter notebook. I would say the Scribbles That Matter is a little bit thicker, but that's because it has a vegan leather cover, which adds a little bit of bulk to it. And the pages are both like ivory, no, not ivory white. They are plain white, and so they're not creamy at all. So if that's a bit of a concern for you, I guess you should know. The Leuchtturm paper in the Leuchtturm 1917 notebooks are very creamy, and I do like to. I should say that I do like cream colored paper, but that's not a deal breaker for me because the paper quality in both these notebooks are amazing, and yeah, highly recommend both of these notebooks. I just wanted something a little bit more low key for work, because it's a professional setting. I don't mean that this Archer and Olive notebook, it doesn't look professional, but I just wanted something even more low-key. And even in teaching, especially in elementary, I mean, you can be more playful with your notebooks and stationery, which is great, but I just wanted something plain Jane for my everyday planning needs at school. Also, I should say that the Scribbles That Matter notebook does have pre-numbered pages, so it's easier if you have an index or you want to do something related to page numbers. But the Archer and Olive, like I said earlier, has no numbers in it, but they both have pockets at the back, and they both have a expandable pocket and pen loop, which is great, and they both have two bookmarks, which is amazing. I think the notebook game, if you are just getting into notebooks, the notebook game is so strong right now, and it's amazing because for a long time I've kind of sheltered myself from a lot of hardbound notebooks because I was really dedicated to my traveler's notebook system, which I still am, and there's a time and place for that, but I also do appreciate that there are other alternatives if you are not a traveler's notebook kind of person. I like that this has a pen loop, and pretty much you're good to go. Like, you have everything that you need here. Whereas in a lot of the traveler's notebook systems, you do have to buy a lot of accessories like pen loops and zipper pouches and whatnot. So if you are, you know, trying to save money and your emphasis is really on writing, I would suggest getting like a hardbound notebook. I should probably say that historically I use an A6 size notebook for my bullet journaling needs. I actually used a Leuchtturm 1917 in the A6 size, and I really liked it because it was pocketable and pretty mobile. Like, I could just slip it in my back butt pocket and it was fine. With this new notebook, I probably won't be fitting it in my back pocket, but that's all right. Hopefully Archer and Olive does make a smaller size in the future for people like me who like to have a smaller notebook. I should probably say that this bullet journal is very practical, although I have been experimenting with more fun spreads and whatnot. At the end of the day, I am using this as a productivity system and not a creative outlet. I still have my journal for that. I mean, I do feel like I will use my bullet journal for more fun and creative things in the future, but for now the main purpose of this setup is to set it up for productivity and for like maximum productivity. Sorry, I'm being redundant. But now I am actually setting up the key, and the key is just a way for you to make sense of all the different symbols that you use in your bullet journal. And for my bullet journal, I have a pretty small / straightforward key. I use a square to indicate a task. I use a dot to indicate an event, and then I have different symbols to indicate how I have like done a task. So if I completed a task, I would just put an X through it, and then if I started a task, I would put a diagonal line. If the task has been canceled, I will just cross it out, and if it's an urgent task, I just put a little bit of an exclamation point beside it. And as you can see, I started decorating because I smudged the ink with my hand. You probably saw it a little bit earlier and probably was cringing just like me. So I ended up just drawing these lined leaves and stars that I've been doing a lot lately. And yeah, I'm glad I ended up saving it. I really didn't want to do an illustration here. I just wanted it to be plain. As I was saying earlier, I wanted this bullet journal to be all about like productivity, but there's no way to cover up that mistake, so I just embraced it and ended up drawing some fun leaves. As you can see, I think I accidentally deleted a clip, but that was actually for the index, and I just put a little bit of a black outline, and I was going to use a white gel pen to write index, but I guess I don't have that video clip any longer. But I left the index for next time. It's just a blank page right now. But this is the most important part of my bullet journal. This is the dot grid spacing page, and right now I am numbering off each square or cube on the diagonal edge and on the horizontal edge. Sorry, I didn't mean diagonal. I meant the vertical edge and the horizontal edge of the notebook. So I basically have numbers running from 1 to about 26 on the horizontal edge, and I don't remember how many dots there are on the vertical edge, but I just numbered it off. And this is just a way for you to easily find how to divide your page up into different ways. And since bullet journaling involves a lot of creating calendars and grids, this grid spacing page is a must for your bullet journal. If you're going to do one thing in your bullet journal, this is the one thing you should take away from this. And as you can see, I am double counting everything to make sure that I put it in the right place. And this page is crucial because this will be your main reference moving forward for when you create monthly calendars and other spreads. The thing that I have learned from this, this setup is that you really do have to take your time. I think I made a few mistakes here, so I was double counting. And I did this also in my work bullet journal because there are some times where I need to like split a spread or split a page in half, and just having those having this reference page is just so useful. I also think that if you had like different color pens, this would be a great time to use it, so you can delineate which lines mean like certain like divisions in your page. So using a red marker or a red pen to show the thirds of the page, and then using a different color to mark out the different quarters on the page. So that's just like one idea. I ended up just using black and then going in with an additional marker or I think it's a mild, I used a mild liner to add some extra color to this spread. But yeah, this is pretty straightforward. As you can see, I am struggling with how to separate this into thirds or into quarters. I ended up just splitting up both the vertical and horizontal side into thirds and quarters. But I think that this is a really hard spread to explain, but basically you can separate your page in any way that you like. I highly recommend splitting your page into halves, thirds, and quarters, because I don't think you'll be splitting your page any smaller than quarters. But yeah, that's up to you. If you want to spread or create a spread or page reference that splits your page or spread into even smaller pieces or chunks, go ahead and do that. But yeah, I hope that wasn't too confusing. After creating that reference page, I used the other side of the spread to create a year at a glance. And as you can see, I split this page into quarters. So having that little reference page was super useful in helping me separate these different blocks for the months. And as you can see, I did 7x7 squares for the year at a glance. Unfortunately, I don't have any video footage of that because my camera died, but it was pretty straightforward. But this is the part that actually is like the actual meat and bread of this, I guess, video. It's just showing you how I create my monthly calendar spreads. And I know a lot of people don't really do this in their bullet journal, or at least do or create a monthly spread at the beginning of each month, but I like to do a little bit of a mix between a future log and an actual like calendar. So I create 4 months at a time. So I have 4 months that I have available to me at like any given moment in time. So far I've done September, October, November, and December as the 4 months, and that acts as my future log. But I also have created it so it's much larger than just a small little calendar on a tiny 1-page spread. I did it across a 2-page spread. So I guess this future log is a little bit of a hybrid between your monthly spread and a future log, because you have access to 4 months already, as well as having a full-on calendar and enough space to write minute details about each day. So right now I am using this this I guess method for planning for my YouTube and social media posts. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm one of those people that isn't able to, I guess, post regularly without having a schedule. So I like to pre-plan all of these videos and what goes up on my channel. So I ended up creating these 4 months so I can pre-plan all of my YouTube videos leading up to December, which is crazy because we're now in October, and this, I would say that this method is working for me because I've been able to still post weekly despite having a full-time job and also doing classes at night as well. So I would say that this has kept productivity very high because I've been able to prioritize tasks in my personal life, as well as juggle all of my schoolwork and all of my regular work as well. So it's been a crazy few months, but I, thanks to my bullet journal, have been surviving. And as you can see, I have been a little bit more playful with my journal spreads this time around because this is my personal bullet journal. I didn't keep it just to a plain black and gray monochrome spread, unlike my work bullet journal. But as you can see, the style is very similar, but I added some more drop shadows, and I just had a little bit more fun. It's still very minimal because that's still my style, but I wanted there to be room for me to add stickers and washi tape and fun stuff, since this is my personal bullet journal and I can be more free with it, unlike my work bullet journal. I'm also using a whole bunch of different pens. So I'm using Pitt Artist pens and mild liners to add some flair to these spreads. And I'm also using a Pigma, no, this is not a Pigma Micron, this is a Jelly Roll pen, I believe, in the white colorway. And I ended up also adding one more month, which is the month of January. Now I'm going to flip through my bullet journal. So here's the key that you saw me create. Here's the index that I have left blank. I left 2 pages for that. My grid spacing page and my year at a glance page. And here is like the future log monthly calendar hybrid. So I had September and then October, then November, December, then January, which is the one that I added last minute because I also wanted there to be room for more planning. I also have like this weird kind of like master list of things that I need to remember. So there's stuff about Etsy, information about stickers, and like my monthly costs for the shop, and I have my monthly log view. I can talk about that in another video, but that's just to track my habits and whatnot. And this is my day-to-day weekly spread. So I've only done 2 weeks worth of planning in this for the month of October, but I'm loving it, and I've been keeping a lot of these receipts and these clear stickers that I use to delineate, to tell me when I have certain tasks and events. But that's pretty much it, guys. It's a pretty straightforward setup. I know I didn't go into too much detail, but I'm still kind of figuring this bullet journal out. I don't know if I want to add some more spreads or change things up, but I'm really liking this, and I feel like productivity has been 100% because I have been getting my stuff done, and that's the most important part about bullet journaling. But that's it, folks. I will see you all next time. Let me know if you want more videos about bullet journals and whatnot, because as you have guessed, I am still obsessed with them. Okay, I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.